Hey everyone. Last video I pretty much ended it um speaking about how we have like our basic general truths about certain things, and I believe that like a God or gods or whatever you believe in, even if you're an atheist or agnostic, um I mean, I believe that's one of the few things that's like underlying in us. Um, let's say like you're an atheist. I used to be an atheist, but more like I would call it like being realistically atheist, like maybe agnostic. Um, I knew that I was an atheist, but I knew that God knew that I was an atheist. I don't know if that makes any sense. Um, those atheists that renounce pretty much God, I've noticed. Well, in my case, I have kind of a high tolerance for pain and stuff, like physical and emotional. I haven't really had an easy life. Um, I haven't had the worst life, but just not an easy life. And I've noticed that the people that renounce, I don't know, that feeling, that underlying feeling of God, haven't felt that like real pain, or whatever pain is to that person, their perception of pain. Um, mine's not like everybody else's, of course. Everybody's is gonna be different. But it's funny because whenever I would feel real pain, or I felt like I was close to death or something like that, I would I would become very religious. It was never in front of anybody too. It was always when I was by myself. I would literally just look up at the sky and just ask why, like why why are you doing this? And supposedly I'm an atheist, right? Um it's when devotion is the most clear. Um I think atheists substitute that thought and talk about um life force and the meaning of it, unfairness of it, or sometimes they substitute it with like government, like like the Declaration of Independence and stuff, and how it says we're all equal, but really we're not. Um, but in reality, we are all equal. We are born equal. Um, it's our environment that shapes us into who we are. But that doesn't necessarily mean we have to break down or anything like that. Some might want to explain what faith is and prove it in words in a scientific kind of way, but I don't think religion was made for that. It wasn't made to be explained. Um, in reality, for me, it was kind of a quick like a quick thought, like the quickest, most fleeting thought I've ever had when I was the most alone, the in my perception, the most in pain. Um, I couldn't explain it, but it was like a switch flicked on and off, like just real quick, like on and off. And I think that's when I saw it. Um, to be honest, nothing's really changed, but it's how I saw it. Some might argue that faith comes from like years of like doctrine, like going to church from when you're really young, when you're like in church every Sunday, like since you're like, I don't know, a little kid and everything. And for some people that is the case. Um, but I've noticed lately in modern society that that isn't really the case. Especially with teenage people. They're out there, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, it's not like cool. It's not. It doesn't make any sense. It's, I don't know. It's a weird. It's a weird environment. Um, but there is people that just innately feel it, and I think that's pretty cool. Those people, they get to enjoy it their whole lives. I believe we are born with it in our souls. Like like I said, like we all have it. We all feel it. We all know what's right and wrong. We all we all know that there is a God. Like you can have someone never ever go to church, never ever been told about God, and if it was like if we weren't born with it, and then out of the blue you start talking to them about this being that created us, that I don't know, just does everything that it does. They think we'd be crazy or something, but there's been cases where that happens, and no, people don't freak out. They're quite interested by it because I believe it's because we're born with it. We're born with that question in our mind, in our souls, really. And why we don't see it more often in people is, I mean, it's in the Bible. I'm sure it's in other books as well. We're born with free will. It's up to us what we choose to do with that. Um, Awareness of God or gods is not new to people. It's something that comes with us. It's it's like saying experience is a result of believing, not a cause of believing. Um, you don't get experience just because you believe. No, it's you believe, and as a result, you get experience. You get to see that beauty in the world, that that stuff that we're supposed to be focusing on instead of, I don't know, just the mundane worldly stuff that we choose to believe in. Um, God is always visible. God has always been there. It's just sometimes we're like way too distracted. We think we're too smart. We think we're nah. Like this stuff is for dumb people who don't know how to live their lives, or sometimes it's like morally speaking, we like, yeah, that guy just dropped a 20. Why should I like give it to him? That's a free 20 for me. Lose finders keepers, losers weepers. It's a morality thing, and I think that kind of stuff destroys faith. Um, but you also gotta remember that I said this in the first part. That bad stuff's always gonna be there, but that faith is always gonna be there too. You can always be better. Anybody who truly for real seeks to, I don't know, just believe, feel good, see what the world is meant to be seen as. Um, and I mean like really want it, want to see it for what it is. You'll totally see it. It's super. It's super awesome. Like it's frustrating, by the way. It's not easy. I think God in the Bible literally calls his believers warriors because it's not easy. With that being said, that ends the whole God thing. This is part 2. By the way, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I want to grow the heck. I was gonna say hell, but I want to grow the hell out of this channel and I don't know. Just again, food for thought. You don't have to listen to me. Again, free will. You can do whatever you want. I'm just letting you know. Your conscience starts to feel a lot better after a little while. After you start practicing these things. So with that being said,